But we have to find that center that we can trust. If we can't find that center that we can trust and lean on, we are not going to let go of our old thought system because it's all we have. It's kind of like trying to rip a security blanket away from a young child before they're ready. If you've ever tried to do that, you know that you just terrify them. So we have to move our trust from the old thought system and place it on something else that we can trust even more. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to unlearn or let go of the way we've always thought. So again, as the first line says, trust is imperative. It's imperative. We cannot do this without trust. So again, back to the second paragraph. This is why taking time to go within is important. Through recognition of a relationship with me, you grow in trust. If you feel there is no relationship, then there is nothing to trust, and you are left with fear and despair. So I ask this of each one. Take time every day to sit quietly with me and know that I am here within you. Go into this time in faith, and you will come out of this time with trust. Again, go into this time with faith, and you will come out of this time with trust. This is reminding me of a silly little thing I did a couple of days ago, but it's a great symbol. I was writing an email to you all, a post. For those of you who read the posts that I was writing an email to all of you. And what was happening and had been happening for about half an hour even before I sat down to write the post is it was early in the morning, but I was feeling this intuitive prompt to get back in bed and watch a movie called Priest. And this wasn't just a whim. The reason I know it wasn't just a whim is because it didn't go away. Half an hour went on. I sat down and wrote you guys a post so that my mind was actually focused on something else. And that prompt to go back to bed and watch Priest stayed. And while this prompt was in my mind, I saw, the ego, because the ego lives there too. They share an apartment, the ego and the Holy Spirit, it seems like. So while this thought is going on in my mind to go back to bed and watch Priest, the ego is sharing its opinion on this thought. And first of all, it was telling me that was a pretty lazy thing to do. I'd only been out of bed, an hour or so. To go back to bed was pretty lazy. And then when I didn't buy that, I started to type out to tell you guys that I was going to go and watch this movie. And then ego actually got a little more vicious. It's probably not going to sound vicious the way I say it because my voice doesn't usually get very vicious. But trust me, it was vicious in my head. Very vicious, as a matter of fact. It told me not to tell you guys that I was going to watch Priest because there's an assumption in telling you that in the email. And the assumption was there was going to be some kind of a meaningful connection between my post and the lesson that I was learning with Holy Spirit that day and the movie. But of course I couldn't possibly know that for a fact because I didn't know anything about the movie. So it was telling me that if I told you guys in faith that I was now going to go watch this movie, that I was going to look like a fool in front of all of you all because when I go watch this movie, it'd be totally stupid, it'd be boring, it would mean nothing to me. And here I was telling you I was going to go watch it because it was a prompt.
And you told him, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, yes. And of course, if you saw the post, we just killed someone in the house.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't kill him, we missed him, huh?
Yeah, I missed him.
Well, if he comes back, it's a mosquito, so we aren't very patient with them, I guess, because they eat on us.
Generally we are, but not anymore, Not anymore. I can have the dinners on my arms and stuff.
Yeah, one had a feast on Laurent the other night. Okay, anyway, I did go ahead and type in the email that I was going to go watch Priest, okay? Now, the reason I'm telling this story now is that this sentence that I just read reminded me of it. I went into that time, I went into that movie in faith. I didn't know for a fact at the intellectual level that that movie would have any meaning for me, especially related to the lesson that Holy Spirit was working with me that day, that moment in my mind. But because it was a prompt, I had faith. And I believed the faith or trusted the faith enough to even write it in the email, which is not a big deal in a way, but in another way it actually is a very big deal. I went into that moment in faith. And what happened was the movie was a big wow, wow, wow. I mean, there was so much in that movie for me. I don't know, for somebody else maybe it would be meaningless. But there was so much in that movie for me that I even came out of it with an urge to rent a hall with you guys, watch it in the morning time, and then watch it again, stopping it several times throughout the movie to discuss it. I just saw so much in it. So I went into that movie in faith. And I came out of it with increased trust. Because in spite of all the other stuff I got from the movie, there was a lot, but in spite of all of that, one more little thing that I got was, once again I learned that trusting my intuitive prompts was the right thing to do. And it's funny, I've been living this life now for 4.5 years of trusting these prompts, and to be honest, I've got a track record of that working out for me. But would you believe every time ego tells me that this is the time it's going to fail? This is the time I'm going to look like a fool? So I have to put that thought aside every time. So I always have to go, even when I sit down in the mornings to be still, every morning, ego tells me I'm not going to hear anything today, I'm not going to feel anything today, this stillness is going to be dead time. Every day. And every day I have to go into it in faith that I will get something out of it, that whatever I need today will come. And you know what? Every day it works out that way. So that's what this sentence is talking about. So let me read this sentence one more time.
Thank you to share that, by the way.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, thank you to share that. It's very important. For everyone might think, even me, might think that it's easy for you and stuff, and all the non-sameness bullshit of the ego, and but no, I know for you too. Every day before actually taking a single quiet thought, you doubt.
Yes.
Me too. Before I start teaching, I doubt always. Even during the teaching, I doubt, but I guess you get there.
Yeah.
The ego doesn't want to let go. So
you just got to keep putting the doubt aside. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I notice Wayne is saying, I got to laugh at this. Wayne is saying that he doubted me when I said Revolver was a good movie, but he says, never again.
Try The Nines. A movie called The Nines. Very good.
Ego bullshit. Okay, good. All right, so here we go. I'll start back at the beginning of the third paragraph since I stopped in the middle to give that speech. Here we go. So I ask this of each one. Take time every day to sit quietly with me and know that I am here within you. Go into this time in faith, and you will come out of this time with trust. Then ride your trust throughout the day, giving everything that upsets you to me for your healing. Give me every thought of guilt, unworthiness, fear, and doubt. Remember that trust is your bedrock. If you can follow the path of your day with trust in me, held firmly within your mind, within each moment and each circumstance, you will experience miracles. That was a pretty long sentence, but let me break it down for you. What he's saying is that trust causes miracles. You got that? Trust causes miracles. If that doesn't tell you how imperative trust is, I don't know what would. If you can follow the path of your day with trust in me held firmly within your mind, within each moment and each circumstance, you will experience miracles. And you will be grateful that you have learned to give me your trust. Focus on this today and be glad.